Hello and welcome you all again on this platform of KTHM e-learning. In the previous lecture, we have completed third chapter of this subject, that is audit of banks, and today we are going to start fourth chapter, that is audit of cooperative societies. In that, we will study introduction, meaning and definitions of audit of cooperative societies. After that, we will study features of audit of cooperative societies. Then we will discuss the audit report of cooperative societies and its contents. So first, let's try to understand the introduction of audit of cooperative societies. Friends, the Cooperative Societies Act 1912, a central act, contains the fundamental law regarding the formation and working of the cooperative societies in India and is applicable in many states with or without amendments. In many states viz Maharashtra, West Bengal, Orissa, the cooperative societies are governed by specific state acts. An auditor of a cooperative society should be familiar with the provisions of the particular act governing the society under audit. A cooperative society is a business organization with a special mode of doing business by pulling together all the means of production cooperatively. Elimination of middlemen and exploitation from outside forces. Cooperative organizations are also forging ahead in large scale industries such as sugar mills, oil mills, paper and pulp industries, spinning and weaving mills and distilleries. However, in spite of this growing phase of cooperative sector, it is a comparatively a weaker sector as compared to corporate sector in the sphere of management, skilled personnel, sophisticated modern equipment, systems of accounting, internal control, internal audit, and obviously profitability. Let's move to the next slide. And now we are going to understand the meaning of cooperative societies. A cooperative society is a voluntary association started with the aim of service of its members. It is a form of business where individuals belonging to the same class join their hands for the promotion of their common goals. The poor people or weaker section people in the society generally form these. It reflects the desire of the poor people to stand on their own legs or own merit. The philosophy of the formation of cooperative society is all for each and each for all. A cooperative society is an autonomous association of persons and united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social and cultural needs and aspiration through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. Thus, a cooperative society is another means for forming a legal entity to conduct business besides forming a company. It pulls together human resources in the spirit of self and mutual help to providing services and support to members. Now, let's see the definitions of cooperative societies. So, the first definition is as per section 4 of the Indian Cooperative Society Act 1912, as a society which has its objective the promotion of economic interest of its members in accordance with cooperative principles. Second definition, according to Calvert, he said a cooperative denotes a form of organization wherein persons voluntarily associate together as a human being on the basis of equality for the promotion of economic interest of themselves. Now let's understand the features of audit of cooperative society. So the first feature is examination of overdue debts. Friends, overdue debts for a period from 6 months to 5 years and more than 5 years will have to be classified and shall have to be reported by an auditor. Overdue debts have far-reaching consequences on the working of credit society. It affects its workings, capital position. A further analysis of these overdue debts from the viewpoint of chances of recovery will have to be made, and they will have to be classified as good or bad. The auditor will have a ascertain whether proper provisions for doubtful debts are made and whether the same is satisfactory. The percentage of overdue debts to the working capital and loans advances will have to be compared with last year so as to see whether the trend is increasing or decreasing, whether the due and proper actions for recovery are taken, the position regarding cases in cooperative courts, district courts, etc., and the result thereof. Second is overdue interest. Overdue interest should be excluded from interest outstanding and accrued due while calculating profit. Overdue interest is interest accrued or accruing in accounts, the amount of which the principal is overdue. In practice, an overdue interest reserve is created and the credit of overdue interest credited to interest account is reduced. Third is certification of bad debts. A particular feature regarding the writing off of the bad debts as per Maharashtra State Cooperative Rules 1961 is very interesting to note. As per rule number 49, bad debts can be written off only when they are certified as bad by the auditor. Bad debts and irrecoverable losses before being written off against bad debts funds, reserve funds, etc. should be certified as bad debts or irrecoverable losses by the auditor where the law so requires. Where no such requirements exist, the managing committee of the society must authorize the write-off. Fourth feature of audit of cooperative society is valuation of assets and liabilities. However, regarding valuation of assets, there are no specific provisions or instructions under the Act and rules, and as such due regard shall be had to the general principle of accounting and auditing conventions and standards adopted. The auditor will have to ascertain existence, ownership and valuation of assets. Fixed assets should be valued at cost less adequate provision for depreciation. Next is adherence to cooperative principles. The auditor will have to ascertain in general how far the objects for which the cooperative organization is set up have been achieved in the course of its working. The assessment is not necessarily in terms of profits but in terms of extending of benefits to members who have formed the society. Considered from the viewpoint of social benefits, it may be looked into that how far the sales could be effected at lower prices. For the achievement of this activity, cost accounting methods, store control methods, techniques of standard costing, budgetary controls, etc. should be adopted. Next feature is observation of the provisions of the Act and rules. An auditor of a cooperative society is required to point out the infringement with the provisions of Cooperative Societies Act and rules and bylaws, the financial implications of such infringements should be properly assessed by the auditor and they should be reported. Some of the state acts contain restrictions on payment of dividends which should be noted by the auditor. Next feature is verification of members' register and examination of their pass books. Examination of entries in members' passbooks regarding the loan given and its repayments and confirmation of loan balances in person is very much important in a cooperative organization to assure that the entries in the books of accounts are free from manipulation. Then specifically in the rural and agricultural credit societies, members are not literate and as such this is a good safeguard on their part. Of course, this checking will be resorted to on a test basis, which is a matter of judgment of the auditor. Next feature is special report to the registrar. Friends, during the course of audit, if the auditor notices that there are some serious irregularities in the working of the society, he may report these special matters to the registrar, drawing his specific attention to the points. The registrar, on receipt of such a special report, may take necessary action against the society. Then next feature is audit classification of society. After a judgment of an overall performance of the society, the auditor has to award a class to the society. This judgment is to be based on the criteria specified by the registrar. It may be noted here that if the management of the society is not satisfied about the award of audit class, it can make an appeal to the registrar and the registrar may direct to review the audit classification. The auditor should be very careful while making a decision about the class of society. And last feature is discussion of draft audit report with managing committee. On conclusion of the audit, the auditor should ask the secretary of the society to convene the managing committee meeting to discuss the audit draft report. The audit report should never to be finalized without discussion with the managing committee. Minor irregularities may be got settled and rectified. Matters of policy should be discussed in detail. Now let's see various contents of audit report of cooperative societies. First content is title. The appropriate title such as auditor's report helps the reader to identify the auditor's report and to distinguish it from reports that might be issued by others. Second is addressee. The auditor's report should be appropriately addressed as required by the circumstances of the engagement and local regulations. The report is usually addressed to the shareholders. The usual guideline is the report is addressed to the appointing agency. If, for example, an auditor is appointed by central government, in a special situation, report shall be addressed to the central government or any of its agencies on its behalf. Next content is scope paragraph. The paragraph describing the scope of the audit should clearly identify the financial statements that have been audited. This includes the name of the organization, the date and period covered by the financial statements. Next content of audit report is opinion paragraph. The opinion paragraph of the auditor's report should clearly set forth The auditor's opinion on the presentation in the financial statements of the company's state of affairs and the results of its operations made within a framework of acceptable accounting policies disclosed in the financial statement in accordance with accounting standard. In that, different types of opinion. First is unqualified opinion is issued when the auditor is satisfied in all material respects. Thus, auditor express his satisfaction in a clear and affirmative manner. Second type of opinion is qualified. Qualified opinion is issued when the auditor concludes that his report is issued subject to limitations of scope of audit work. And third type of opinion is an adverse. An adverse opinion is issued when auditor and the company disagree on certain policies such that auditors concludes that financial statements don't show a true and fair of the state of affairs. Usually such matters are discussed before report is finalized. Therefore, an adverse report is generally not issued to the shareholders. Then a disclaimer opinion. It is issued when auditor is not able to form his judgment of the financial statement. Now, next content of audit report is signature. The auditor's report should be signed in the name of the audit firm, the personal name of the auditor, or both as appropriate. Next content is auditor's address. The auditor's report should name a specific location, which is usually the city in which the auditor maintains his office. Seventh content is date of report. The auditor's report should be dated. This informs the readers that the auditor considered the effect on the financial statement and on his report of events or transactions about which he became aware that occurred up to that date. Next content is special points. A particulars of all transactions which appear to be contrary to the provisions of the Act, the rules and bylaws of the society, all sums which ought to have been but have not been brought in accounts by the society. Any materials irregularity in the expenditure or in the realization of money due of the society. Thank you.